If you want to be wealthy and be financially independent, it is imperative that you take into consideration the following process or strategy, which I am going to explain in this lecture. If you actually desire to be financially free, if you desire wealth, if you actually desire to be ahead of your contemporary in society, this entails that you need to know how to use money properly. A lot of people today are unaware that money is actually a tool, and as a tool, it must be used properly and put into operation. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't know this. It is also obligatory that money must be used well or utilized well. Welcome to another segment of intellectual brainstorming and academic excellence. I remain your humble, loyal, dedicated, pragmatic David Oni. My YouTube channel is David Onewis. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please go and subscribe now. Now, money is a tool that must be used properly. And for you to be able to use money properly, there are some certain steps which I am going to explain. Number one, you must be able to track your money. That is the first one. This entails knowing where your money is actually going. It entails spending your money wisely. It entails spending your money smartly. It entails that you need to spend your money in the right way. The second step is that you must systemize your money. Now, what do I mean by systemizing your money? That means that you have to break your money down into savings, spending, and what? And the investments. That is the three of them: savings, spending, and the investment. Then the third one is that you must pay yourself first. You must pay yourself first, which is very, very important. Now, if you want to be among the minority, because in every society we have two classes of people or categories, which are the minority and the majority. If you want to be in the class of the few minority in the society, which constitute the rich in the country, we need to take a step deeper into what we're actually talking about now. Now, what are the steps which I'm still going to explain or buttress or expatiate in the course of this lecture? Number one is that you must lay the foundation for wealth creation. Just like when you wanted to start your house, which you are living now, you start with what we call a foundation. Your house must have a foundation. If the foundation is not good enough, there's every possibility that in the future or after some period of time, the house may have to fall a bit or collapse. So if you desire wealth or you want to create wealth, it is mandatory that you must lay the foundation for wealth creation. The bigger you want to be in the society, the bigger your foundation should be. If you have a very solid foundation, there is every possibility that you are going to be very, very rich. So, for you to build a very strong foundation, you must have a very strong mindset, and have a stronger financial foundation. Can you see something there? This is very, very important. Number two is that you must build a system that allow you to build what we call wealth. You must actually decide how much you want to set aside or how long it's going to take you to build your wealth. As you all know, wealth creation is not something that's a mirage. It is actually a reality. It is not an utopia. It is what we can see. And for you to actually build wealth, it is not something that can be done within a month, 6 months. It takes what we call decades of what? Of sacrifice. We are talking about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, or even 40 years. And this wealth can be transitioned or transferred from one generation to another. That is, when you are gone, you can actually leave wealth for your children, you know, to manage. So wealth creation is what is generational. So you must decide how much you're going to set aside, and you must also decide how long you want to build your wealth. To achieve this, you must be very strategic and what and pragmatic. Strategic and what and pragmatic. Number three, you must have what I call smart spending. You can't deprive yourself all the things in life, but you can actually decide how you want to spend your money smartly. You may have money, but it is imperative that you need to spend this money smartly. That is wealth creation. Now, let me now start from what? From the first one, which is what? The foundation. Let me expatiate, like I said earlier, on what I mean by what we must build the foundation for wealth creation. Now, number one, on the foundational side, you must believe that you can become wealthy. You see, a lot of people in our society now, they are very pessimistic. They have a negative perspective to life, and some even believe that poverty is actually generational in their family. Like if you could remember my previous lectures I did, I discussed what we call poverty tree. Poverty can be generational. It can be transferred from one generation to another if pragmatic measures are not put into place. So you must build a foundation that is based on the belief that you can actually be wealthy. You have to believe that it is good for you to be successful. Success is very good, it's unique, it is spectacular, it is actually wonderful. You have to believe that it is possible and rewire your brain and change your mindset. Now, in other words, you must have what I call a positive mindset. Mindset that you are going to make it, mindset based on what? On zealousness, on determination, on being focused, on being hardworking, on being pragmatic, on being inventive, on being innovative, on being realistic. Realistic. Do you understand now? So, generational poverty can be built as a result of your negative mindset. There are opportunities around us, so you must see these opportunities. This entails personal what development. It is also your duty and my duty to be successful. So you don't need to choose poverty or desire impoverishment, but you need to desire for success. And for you to be able to desire for success, you need to pay some certain price. So it's your duty to be successful. Money is what is emotionless. When I say money is actually emotionless, it means that that money is actually a tool that needed to be used. So it does not make you a good person or a bad person. It doesn't have any emotion. There is a limit to a time you can actually invest your money, but there is no limit to the amount of money you can actually invest into into wealth creation. Money can be useful and powerful. Money is a tool, and can be used or carried out in what in different way. But as an individual that desires success, as an individual that desires wealth, you need to what? To decide that your money must be used for wealth creation, which is what? Investment. So, in order to build that foundation, apart from your mindset, you must also save your money. You must have a savings set aside for a period or for uncertainty of life, which is what I call emergencies. Emergencies and eventualities happens, or life happens, or unforeseen circumstances happen. So, in case you have to repair your car, you actually maybe in between the course of time you don't have a job or something negative or something not good enough happens, you need to sustain yourself because life happens. So you need to save some money as part of our foundation. Number three, I've mentioned mindset, I've mentioned saving your money. Then number three is that what? That you need to pay your debt. Now, paying your debt is one of the ways of creating a solid foundation for wealth creation. You must pay your credit card debt as fast as possible. Credit cards and debt makes other people rich because you are creating wealth for them. Except you, when you borrow money or you take a credit card, you are creating wealth for other people. I've actually done that already in my previous lectures where I mentioned that people are creating wealth for other people because you collect a credit card or you go for a loan or you go for a mortgage, you are actually creating wealth for other people. So you must pay your credit card debt as fast as possible in order not to create wealth for other people. So you are indebted when you get a credit card, when you borrow from the banks. So credit cards and debt cost, if you actually calculate it in a year, it costs about 15 to 27% per annum. What you are paid to service what I call your what? The money you have actually borrowed from the mortgage financial institutions or loans or the use of what of a credit cards. So in other words, you are paying a lot of money in order to finance your debt. So you desire what we call financial freedom. So avoid what? Your debt and also pay your debt as fast as possible because if you don't pay your debt, it attracts a penalty for defaulting and that increases your what? The amount of money you are going to pay back to what? To the financial institution. Now, there is financial freedom when you don't have a debt to pay. That is when you live a debt-free life, you have what I call financial freedom. And that is the surest way to wealth creation. So I've mentioned on the foundational level the need for you to pay your debt, the need for you to save some money, and the need for you to also change your mindset. Now, let's go to the second one, which is what? Systemizing your money. Here, you must use your money strategically, such as saving, such as spendings, and such as what? As a investment. Now, let me tell you a secret. You see, for the wealthy ones in the society, whenever they want to do anything or they get paid at the end of the month or they have money in their hands, do you know the first thing they do? The first thing they do is to what? To first invest. They invest number one first. Then number two, they save for emergency second. Then number three, they spend the rest of the money. So anytime you get paid, the first thing you must do to create wealth is that you must first invest part of that money. Number two, you must save some part of that money. Then number three, the rest you can actually what? Actually spend. Now, it is very important. You can put them in this way: 75, 15, 10. Maybe 75 can actually go for spending, 15% of your money can go for investment, and 10% of your money can go for what? For savings, for emergencies. Now, when those monies are not actually used, what do? You redirect them back into what we call your investment. That is, if there's no emergency for you in a month and you have some money left with you as savings, you can redirect it into what we call the investment. Unfortunately, a lot of people actually spend all their money. But for the rich, it is not the time for spending. It is actually the time for investment. So the rich, we always invest first, they save second, then the rest they can actually spend. So adopt this strategy for yourself, and you will see that things will move for you. Then it is imperative that you must have what we call budgets, a realistic budget. How do you want to spend your money in a month? You must adhere or adopt and abide by this strategic level of budget. That is, you must strategize on the amount of money you want to spend in a month. You must adopt the amount of money you want to save in a month, and you must also adopt the amount of money you want to put into investment. Very, very, very important. Now, investment is what makes you to be rich and wealthy. You can invest into stocks, you can invest into real estate, you can invest into business, into careers, into books. There are a lot of things you can actually invest into. But for someone that wants to invest into the future, you invest your money into your retirement. When you cannot move your body again, when you are not as agile, or your level of agility has actually gone down. So your goal should be to generate what I call a cash flow. Cash flow. When something, you are generating what I call a passive income every month, for yourself. Something is entering into your account, which is what I call a cash flow. You can adopt cash flow into stocks, into equity trust funds, and rental properties. You must reinvest your cash flow into the process of making more money. Do you see now? Now, the third one, which is what? Spending your money smartly. Spending your money smartly. You must be able to buy whatever you want to buy as long as you can be able to afford it with your cash. Look at that one. As long as you can be able to afford it with your cash. In other words, you must avoid the use of credit card. Credit cards, mortgage loans, and the rest of them will only put you into debt, more debt, and more debt, and more debt, including what I call buy now and pay later. Buy now and pay later. In fact, that one is very common in our own part of the world, mostly in developing countries, where they will ask you to come and buy gadgets or phones and pay, later after 6 months. And at the end of the day, you realize that that the interest is actually outrageous. It's actually outrageous. So in our contemporary time, it is actually easy to get a credit card, to get mortgage loans, to get what I call buy now and pay later. But in reality, it is broke now and broke later. That is, you are broke now and you are broke later, because it is actually not helping your finances, but it's actually making you to be more indebted in reality. So it is broke now and broke later. So a lot of people find themselves in this situation because it is always easy to collect this money. You are always fascinated, you are always attracted. You have that something compelling you to go and collect that money. At the end of the day, when you collect it, you pay the price of defaulting, you pay the price of paying interest on the money. So a lot of people, find themselves in this situation. So you must stop financing, those gadgets, those phones, those things with credit card, with loans, and what and buy now and pay later. You must only buy those things you can only afford with your cash. Anything that you cannot afford to buy with your cash, avoid it. Anything that will make you to pay more interest at the end of the day, you avoid it. Because by the time you calculate all this money together, you are paying a lot of money at the end of the year. You pay now, you buy now, you pay later. For example, you buy a phone and before 6 months you pay the money. And by the time you calculate the amount of money you are even using to buy now and pay later, you realize that the interest is about 15% or 70% thereabout. Then go for another gadget. Calculate 70% times 2. That is, you are paying about 34% of what? Of money as interest for buying now and paying later. The same goes for when you collect loans from mortgage financial institutions. The same also goes for when you go for what we call a credit card. So you must accelerate your wealth and live smaller in your spending. In other words, you should limit the amount of of money you are actually spending by living there smartly. So it entails a lot of sacrifice and pain to actually achieve it, and it takes a lot of discipline. So financial wealth is easy to say. It's always, I come on this program, I tell you, man, you can actually achieve it. But it entails a lot of sacrifice. It's what I call decades worth of sacrifice and pain. You have to deny yourself some certain things. But the beauty of it is that those things that you cannot afford to buy now, in the nearest future, you can actually be able to buy them when you have finished building your financial wealth. Because the possible purpose of building financial wealth is for you to be able to enjoy yourself in the future and not live on a poverty level. So you must be disciplined with your money. You must be able to sacrifice, and sometimes it goes with pains. And sometimes you may have to lose a lot of your friends because you have actually been doing the same thing with them every time. You go to clubbing, you do all sort of things. There's no budget, there's no control on how you spend your money. But now you are now changed. You are not investing your money positively. A lot of people will see you in a very different way, in a very different dimension. Some people will even think that you have a mental problem. You understand that this guy have actually changed. So you might have to lose some of your friends that have actually been doing things that is not based on proper planning. But irrespective of that, your future is what matters. Your future is the most important thing, where you can live on what I call financial freedom and financial stability, and swim in the tsunami of wealth, and swim in the ocean of affluence, and swim in the ocean of financial surplus. That is what we are talking about. Have you actually gained something today? For me, I've actually gained something. And that's why I always come every time to give you the key to success. Success is what is desirable. Success is possible if only you are willing today to decide for yourself. Change your mindset, save some part of your money, invest your money, and also be disciplined with your money. If you never subscribe, go subscribe now. Subscribe now. And for our returning subscribers, we say a very big thank you to you guys. You guys are wonderful. God bless you all. You keep us going. If you never subscribe, go subscribe. And don't forget to share my videos to the outside world for those that actually make this video. I remain your humble, pragmatic, innovative, inventive, enterprising, productive, David Oni. Till I meet you next time, God bless you all. And don't forget, keep safe. God bless you. Thank you so much.